Hello, we're back. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. We're Paul and Jenny for Host the Ghost and Angela from South Coast Coast. Luke should pop along in a minute. So we're back. We had a restful Monday. So from now on, at the moment, we're going to do every fortnight just to give us a little bit of a break. And plus, a lot of our guests are on holiday anyway. So that just gives us a nice little break between it. So the topic tonight, we was at the British School Museum Saturday on an investigation. So we'll go into that in a minute. Well, any other news, Angela? Any yet? No. No other news. Other than Keir Starmer's resigned. If you call that news, there you go. Anyway, so we're at the British Schools Museum in Hitchin. I'm not sure if anybody watching this has actually been there before. So this is my second time there. It's in Hitchin, so it's quite a distance from home. Plus, where we were on the way there, I was on the motorbike, and the motorway was shut, the M25, due to an accident. So it sort of delayed the length of the journey. It was an hour and a half on the bike, but sort of made it into nearly 2 hours. Hi, Emily. So it made it into nearly 2 hours. So it's quite a long journey. I was on my own because Jen's not very well at the moment. So British School Museum in Hitchin. So I've been there round about, I suppose, 10 years ago was the last time I'd been there. As you can see from this map, it's a really good museum. It's really, really interesting inside it and that. And it's laid out in various different ways. So on the left is like the storeroom, and what we had is the hub where all the equipment and the guests were. And then you go across and on to the right, as you see the little tiny corridor between the two buildings. As you go through there and then you go up the stairs, there's a very haunted passageway up the top of that runs along the top of that below. And then to the right, it comes to the toilet. And then the main room is the big one on the right-hand side. And then your smaller classrooms. So you had one massive classroom of all the chairs and the desks all the way along the hall. Mm-hmm. And the second from the right is a stacked schoolroom where the table and chairs were stacked upward. Instead of being flat, they were stacked up. Yeah. Hi, Luke.
Hello.
So the table and the desks were stacked upwards, like on a really steep slope. Yeah. So you had one flat, massive room, and then a schoolroom that had a stacked chairs, but all original. Everything in there was original. And the first thing, hi, Ghost Dragon. So the first thing me and Luke noticed was a plaque saying 1704. So we assumed it was open from 1704 because a lot of the stuff was the equipment in there, the desks, the chairs, and she tells you a bit about it. You know, don't touch this. You can sit at the desk and play with the lids, and like you would do if you were back at school, like a naughty boy playing with desktops, and it brought back some good memories. I don't know about you, Lee, but it was quite good fun sitting at the desk, rattling the desks. You know, last time I heard that, someone was shouting, "Oh, Howard, stop all that." But that brought back some real great memories. So I was chucking away to myself thinking, oh, let's bring back some memories. Anyway, less than my childhood. Misspent childhood, yeah. Yeah, so, and then also you come down a ramp, and also attached to up there was an air raid shelter as well. So which was next to the school, but you would go down very much in the bottom, wasn't it, Luke? Very dark in there. Dark and, I wouldn't say sinister, but it was dark, wasn't it? You're thinking, okay. But everywhere you went, I didn't think it was sinister, but you knew something was there.
Oh, yeah.
And then across the courtyard was the headmaster's house.
Okay.
So, hi, Sammy. So you come out down the ramp, walk along a little bit, through a little bit of a gate, and then into the headmaster's house. So as you walked in, you had a kitchen straight on your right-hand side.
Yeah.
Hi, Wayne.
Sorry.
So you had the kitchen on your right-hand side. I don't know what you're doing tonight. She's on one tonight.
And I'm just thinking, where's the stapler?
We don't get a flea in your ear. We get fly in your ear, apparently. Anyway, so as you walked in the door, the kitchen was on your right-hand side. sort of walk through a bit of another door to your left, and it was like a dining room, then
Okay.
out into a bit of a hallway, and then the headmaster's office was right in front of you.
Mhm.
And as you go into the headmaster's office, the desks all laid out as it was originally, with all the notes that he wrote on the desk
Oh,
and all the lamps. Wasn't it, Luke? It was very.
Yeah,
It's a good museum, wasn't it, to look at?
yeah.
And then as you came back out into the hallway, there was a set of stairs to your right. So there was 3 bedrooms upstairs, like 2 singles, wasn't it, Luke, and a big double.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So when you're in headmaster's house, you can't sit on any of the chairs. You can't sit on the beds. You can't do. All you could do is sit on the floor, because
Okay.
everything in the house is original from the 1800s. The chairs, the desks, the lights, the quill, the paper. So they're trying to preserve it as it was originally.
Yeah.
So it's quite impressive. If you're ever out Hitchin Way, it's called the British Schools Museum. Go and see it. It is their charity run. So, you know, obviously, like all charities these days. Oh, what's that? Is that me? No.
Yeah. Don't know
Where did that come from? No.
I don't-
So, as all charities these days, they need that income to keep it going. It's quite an impressionable place. What did you think of it, Luke?
Yeah, very interesting. I'll go back again, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite. There's a lot to it. You know
There
what I
is,
mean?
yeah.
And the last time I went there 10 years ago, as we were in the hub, if you went to the corridor to the left and walked all the way to the bottom of the corridor, there was a room in there, because I did the first ever ghost hunt with Barry Guy there.
Oh, yeah.
So I was with him doing a ghost hunt there. And you could walk all the way to the front of the building, virtually to the main road, but inside. And then, but we weren't allowed into that area because they using it as a storeroom. But the history has it that before the children were going to come to school, someone hung themselves outside and was swinging when the children came to school. So the last time I was there with Barry Guy, there was a lot of, you could hear in where you record a lot of screaming and tapping.
Oh,
That we
okay.
weren't allowed into there because they've changed. Because she said to me, "We've changed it around, haven't we? Can you see the difference?" And I could see the difference from 10 years ago, where they've used it as storerooms, you know, and try and maintain the building, really. Because I imagine it's quite an expensive building to maintain. You know, I sent a video of the like standing in the courtyard and you're looking around it. So we started off. Where did we go first, Luke? We went to.
With the house, headmaster's house, I think.
Yeah, I'd already started, hadn't I? Because you arrived about
Yeah.
half an hour or an hour a bit later
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
blooming motorway, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So you were a little bit later behind. So we started off in the big classroom with the flat chair, table and chairs all the way across. And it probably would, I'd imagine, housed 50, 60 children, Luke, would you say? Something around that, maybe more?
Yeah.
So we started off in there. There was myself, and then Luke joined us, and Amy and Lynn, and then Matt was there as well. He came along, and he said, "Oh, we'll do it. We'll try it." And off the main room was 2 little classrooms. So you go off the main room into one classroom, turn right. There's a second classroom there.
Oh,
So we were sitting in there. And it was still a bit light because obviously it was, you know, one summer, so the days are longer. So it stayed light, but a couple of times we were there, you heard bits, but we really weren't sure whether it was the heat of the day cooling the building. So,
yeah.
you know, you're that sort of, there was a tap, but it could be the building cooling because it's got a lot of glass, isn't it, Luke, around the top of the building.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it heats up, it's going to cool down. It's going to make a noise. You know, it's built in the 1700s, so it's entitled to make noises. So you sort of, because it was daylight, it was, you sort of just not brush the noises off, just sort of, okay, this could be the building. It could even be like the desks or the furniture in the building that have been so hot, they're cooling down. So you sort of just listen to it and you get a tick or a tap, 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 like something was cooling down, you know? So we were a bit, okay, it's not really great evidence, you know, we're calling out, can you knock or do something? And you hear tap, 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 like something was cooling down. So it's not a knock, it's like something cooling. That's what I thought, you know, so I thought just debunk that. So I tried the EVP. So I had the EVP running. I've got to go back over it, but a couple of EVPs I got, you can hear what sounds like. I call out, say, "Can you tell us who you are?" And you hear someone laughing.
Oh, right.
Ghost Dragon Investigations. Heat has a massive factor in noises a certain time of the evening for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is why we were sitting there during the daylight listening to the building. Because if you do, like your base checks on the building before you start the investigation, you know what's a building and what's not, And we sort of sat there and listened to it, and it was chick, 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 like it, that sort of thing. So you can sort of discard that, really. It's not a response to a question. So in the EVP, a couple of times you could hear someone laughing. So we moved around, and then Luke joined us. Eventually got there after their trip on the motorway. So we ended up going to the headmaster's house, which is on the sort of on your left-hand side as you come out of the classrooms. Now, he was well known, Mr. Phipps, it was his name. He was well known for not having women in his house. They stayed in one room, and that's where they should stay. They're not allowed to come into his office at all. And if women go into his office, he quite apparently gets the right hump with it. So we ended up, I think Luke joined us then. We were just heading in there, weren't we, Luke?
Yes, yeah.
So we'd gone in there, and like I say, you go through into a little bit of a courtyard, and then through the kitchen door. The kitchen's on your right, and then we went to the dining room, and then we went into the office where he was. And obviously, you can't touch anything. So you had to be careful where you put REM pods and cars and, all the equipment that Matt was putting down. So we had to be very careful what we touched and where we went. And, you mustn't sit in the chairs. You mustn't touch the table. You're okay to lean against the wall, but you can't, or sit on the floor, but you can't sit on any of the chairs because all the chairs are original. So she said the chances are you sit on a chair may well break and you end up getting injured, which is fair enough. I understand that, because if you break something like that, how do you replace it?
Yeah, you can't, can you?
You can't. That's history gone, isn't it? That's a lot of what we do with the English heritage. Once history's gone, you've got nothing. It's all well and good looking on a bit of paper, but being actually in that historic site is different. With all the buildings you've been around, Angela, the abbeys and that. If that was to go, that would just be a green grass.
Yeah.
But it's something about being in the ruins, isn't it? Anyway, so we were in there. So we closed the door, and we were standing there calling out, and there was a few taps, a few knocks, but again we were like, isn't it tight? Is it the floor upstairs cooling down? So we stayed in there, and we shut the door, and it was so hot in there, wasn't it, Luke? It was absolutely baking. So you imagine how long and because there's so much heat in there, you're very dry, and your body heats adding to the heat that's already in the room, because the headmaster's room is right at the very front, so the sun would be on it most of the day. So you can imagine the heat, although they had the curtains pulled, but the heat when we got in there was tremendous. It felt uncomfortable, didn't it, Luke, with the heat in there? Yeah. So we sort of opened the door and decided that we're going to go upstairs to the bedrooms. So you go up like 2 flights of stairs. So you go up one, turn, and then go up the second flight, and you had 2 single bedrooms to your left and the main bedroom to the right. And the lady already said that Mr. Phipps doesn't like anybody in the house, no one. So you may well encounter him in the house. So, but we sort of went upstairs. I think Lynn and Luke and Amy were in one room, myself and Gemma were in one room, and I think Matt was in the hallway.
Yeah.
Is that right, Luke? Is that how we did it?
I think it was, yeah. It was at one point, yeah.
At one point, we were all in the same room, weren't we? In a big room.
Yeah.
And we were calling out and saying, children, if you're here, would you come and join us upstairs? And, there's a toy car or a ball that you can flash, and sort of showed them. And they all sort of retreated into the bedroom. And there was Matt had like I don't know what it was, like a sensor. So any movement on the floor, it would show you. It would spike. So what we did was put it down and wait for cars to go past, because you're virtually 10 foot off the road, Luke, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Off the main road. And the lady
Yeah.
said when the lorries go past, the house actually vibrates. That's how close it is to the road. You know, so you had to take into account cars going past. But we were watching the meter as the cars go past, and it didn't really affect the meter. So we were calling out again as the children here, can you come and play? Mr. Phipps, you know, we're in your bedroom, should we be in here? And then all of a sudden we heard dunk, 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 like someone running up the stairs.
Oh, right.
Didn't we, Luke?
Yeah,
We all like looked at each other, went, hello, looked over the balcony, who's there? There's no one there. So we're thinking, wow, didn't it, Luke? It was as clear as that, like someone was coming up the stairs, like 3 or 4 steps, dunk, 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 dunk. And we're like, oh, well, it must be somebody coming. Come on, come up. And then, of course, nobody appeared at the stairs. We're like, okay. So we looked over the banister, shouted down, anybody in the rooms? Anybody there? No one. But we literally, all of us heard this. And even his meter showed like a dunk, 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 dunk on the floor, like someone was running up the stairs. So that was quite good. And then we couldn't really get it to go. So we sort of stayed, Lynn, Luke and Amy were in the main bedroom. I was in the second bedroom on the left, over in the corner, sitting on the floor, and they had a doll propped on a chair. It was the original doll that would have been with the child that lived there. He's one of his daughters. And I think Matt was in the hallway. And then Amy was in the other room, wasn't she, Luke?
Yeah, she was, yeah.
I think Amy was in the other room. We're sitting down, like calling out, anybody here? Can you make a noise? Can you move something? You know, we can't, you know, the normal stuff. We come with that most respect for you, and can you do something? A couple of times there was a noise, but we couldn't work out where. You know, it was that sort of noise where somebody said it's downstairs, but somebody said no, it's upstairs. But it was the loudest knock, wasn't it, Luke?
Yeah, it
But
was,
we couldn't work out whether it was up or downstairs. But there was nobody downstairs because we were the only 6 of us in there, 7 of us. But somebody said, no, it's in this corner. Somebody said, no, it's downstairs. So it's one of them noises where you couldn't really place where it was in the building. But we all heard it, like a loud bang. So I thought, well, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there calling out, and obviously Gemma's on edge because there's little bits happening. So you know what Gemma's like. She's always a little bit on edge. And all of a sudden, I had someone, a child, come up to my ear when I was sitting on the floor and went, like that, literally. And of course, I jumped. I don't mind it, but it just completely took me by surprise. Then normally I go, oh, hello. It was literally right in my ear. So I just went, what? Jump, because Gemma's bolted out the door. She's like running, wow, let me out of here, and all of this. So it's quite chaotic at that point, wasn't it, Luke? It was. But I clearly heard this right against my ear, even the coldness. And I came out, and Matt went in, and he said to Gemma, feel the coldness in this corner. Bearing in mind the house is really hot, and it was freezing cold in this corner where I was sat. But I didn't feel the coldness, only the breath from my ear go, shh, like Charles telling me, go, shh, like that, literally. So I thought, oh, that was pretty good. So I'll go back in there and try again. So again, we had a few bits. And then we decided to do like a spirit box on the hallway, didn't we, Lou? Had the spirit box running.
Oh, yeah, I remember, yeah.
Do you remember on the hallway? So we had
one,
the spirit box running in the hallway, so the top of the stairs, because it's going like it does.
Yeah.
And we're saying, can you tell us who's here? And it went, Paul. We're
I
like,
remember, yeah.
right. Okay, so random name, I know. But, you know, sometimes they do come through like that, don't they?
Yeah.
And then it was like, it's difficult because some of the responses were quite difficult to catch because they're very quick.
Yeah.
And it was like, can you tell us how many are here? And it was like, 7.
Ooh.
Right, okay. So, of course, we counted. It was 7.
Oh.
Okay. And it was like, was that you we heard in here earlier? It was like, yes, was the answer.
Oh, right.
All of that type. So it was very responsive, wasn't it, Luke? But
Was,
quite difficult to catch the answers to the questions. So that was really interesting, wasn't it? What did you get out of that, Luke?
I think I got more in the the big classroom bit, more now I think I got.
Because it said your name at one stage, didn't it, in the house, Luke?
Or was it?
Do you remember?
Was it the classroom or the house? I can't
Was
remember.
it? I thought it was in the house.
It's one.
It was.
One of the places. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out with your name, didn't it? It said Luke.
Yeah. One of
We're
them.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
So it's already had a Paul and a Luke come out, which is,
Yeah.
I don't know, quite random, really. But you know, you can read into that what you like. But it was quite successful on the landing. We had some real good responses. Some of it you couldn't understand. Then you heard a child laugh and a scream and what sounded like a man shouting and all sorts of different things. So we decided to go and have a break because obviously I'm only about 4.5 weeks out of having a heart attack. So I have to rehydrate quite often. So I was getting quite dry because my voice starts to change. So we dropped down and went to have a drink and that, didn't we? The break. Yeah. Then we decided we were going to go to the big classroom. So it's the classroom that's flat, not the one that slopes upwards. Yeah. So I think I put a video on there with the picture of it, like a massive classroom. Did I send that or did I get it?
Oh, the video. Yeah. That should be the one.
So that's the classroom off of the main class.
Children,
so as it comes round, you look out the door.
Come and talk to us.
There's the main classroom out of that door.
Move something.
So that's where Luke was sitting. There's the second classroom there to the left. So you got Matt in there,
if you want to.
me in this room, and then Luke and Lynn in the main big room outside. So that's what it's like. See the old desks? You remember them? Oh, I loved it sitting there. Yay! Great. I had some great times at junior school. So the history of the school is it was built in the early stages, obviously, to teach children, underprivileged children. And then during World War One, the children were taken during the war. The children were taken there to learn.
There's a piano there. Can you make a noise?
So I really wanted the piano to go doing. I think I'd have left the room quickly, but anyway. But it was very eerie. Obviously, I got my flash on the neck, so it was dark. This time it had gone completely dark. But do you notice that in this video, right? Although we had knocks and taps, there's not one orb.
Oh yeah, there usually is, isn't there?
Yeah. And you can hear Matt talking in the back room.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's not one orb in that video, which I found quite strange.
Yeah.
Whether you believe in orbs, light anomalies, whatever. But I thought, well, that's very odd. That there's no. You normally get something dust. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no dust. There's no orbs. There's, for a classroom that old with the original furniture, you think there would be dust flying everywhere. Because I was playing with the desk. Come on, can you copy me? Can you slam a desk? So you think there would be dust flying everywhere. Never picked it up, which I found quite strange, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So we tried in there and we had a few taps and a few knocks, nothing to write home about. So we decided to go into the main room where Luke, Lynn and Amy were. And you'd had a few bits in there, hadn't you, Luke, while we were in the side rooms?
Yeah, I got touched on my leg.
That's
I
right.
thought my mum touched me, but it wasn't. So hand grabbing the top of my leg.
Oh.
So it was a bit like that, you had individual experiences rather than all of you.
Yeah.
So we sat on the bench. Matt was front, Amy, Lynn, and Luke were slightly to the right. So we're all sitting on each individual desk, and on the desks, they're benches, like long PE benches. You remember the old benches you used to lift out and carry, like that. Good memories, isn't it? So we were sort of sitting on them, but we were spread around the room, so we didn't sort of create a problem. Like we were moving because we were too close. It was very hot, so. It was, I don't know how to explain it. It was very dark in there, but your eyes adjusted quite well to it, in such a vast room.
Yeah.
And I'm looking down the end of the room, we're calling out, Luke's calling out, Matt. Then Luke got touched on the leg. And then all of a sudden, down the bottom of the room, I thought I saw a child run from left to right.
Oh.
A little shadow run straight across. And I looked at Luke. And Luke looked at me and went, what was that? And bearing in mind we're apart, we're not sitting in the same. I didn't say, look at that. I sort of looked and I saw this black shadow run across. And Luke went, what was that down there? And it looked like, I don't know how to explain, like children running backwards and forwards across the bottom of the room. because you saw shadows over there, and then they were over here. Then it was forward, and then it was over there, and then it was over there. Wasn't it, Luke? It was like
Yeah.
they were rushing into a classroom. Do you know that type of chaos that you get with children rushing into that type of thing? Because we're ringing a bell. We're not supposed to, because they had a bell on the lectern on the top. Ding, ding, ding. We're going, come on, children, you're late for class. Get in here now. You know, there'll be trouble. And then we could see this activity, wasn't it, Luke? It was very strange what was going on down the bottom. We had REM pods down there, so we sort of covered it, but the REM pods never went off. But we saw, and even Luke said, that looks like a child, didn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I was seeing, but it was like chaos of children running backwards and forwards. They never came close. They stayed obviously at that distance. But at the bottom on the last bench, you could see like these shadows going backwards and forwards across the bottom of the hall. And that was really strange. And then just a little bit after, that's right, just a little bit after, Luke, we were sitting in the hall, in that massive hall, calling. And Luke suddenly jumped, went, what was that?
Yeah.
And then he saw something in the classrooms off the main classroom across the door. Didn't you, Luke?
Yeah, it's like the teachers wore the long black clothes. Saw the bottom of that walking past.
Literally across the bottom of the door in that classroom where I was sat.
Yeah.
So we sort of went in there and had a look. Obviously, there's nothing there. Nothing had moved. Because we put, what I did before I left, I just put the paperwork slightly skew with to see if it could come back and straighten it up. A bit like a trigger object. See if they would straighten it up. So we knew something, but it was still obviously on the slope. So I put it back how it should be.
Yeah.
Just some way of getting some sort of trigger. And then we decided to do the Estes method in there.
Right.
So Matt was doing that, wasn't he, Lou? And that was just total chaos. Total. Oh my God. Wasn't it, Luke?
Yeah.
We were asking questions. Obviously, he couldn't hear.
Yeah.
We're going, are you here? I'm here. And Matt was saying in a real deep man's voice, really menacing voice. We're saying, where are you? Behind you. We're like, so I'm turning around and looked, and Luke's looked with me. We're like, and Lynn's like, oh, behind us. So we're sort of looking, thinking something's behind. And I'm sat on the bench on my own. Luke's on the bench over there, and Matt's over there with the Estes going. And then we said, well, show yourself. Come on, do something to make us, because it said leave now, get out. And we're like, whoa, wasn't it, Luke?
Yeah.
And I kept saying, we're not getting out until you do something. Make us leave. And then I felt on the end of the bench like someone had sat down on the bench I was on. And straight out of the Estes, it went, next to you I am. And I'm like, oh. And I looked at Lou, went, whoa. And it's like someone literally sat on the end of the bench. He went, dunk, like that. And then next to you I am. I'm like, and we hadn't even asked a question. It comes straight out of the Estes, didn't it, Luke? And we're like, whoa. We're saying, are you the teacher we saw in the other room? And it was going, get out, pain, I will. It got changed. The atmosphere changed. It was like quite, how would you explain the atmosphere, Luke? Very, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was it literally changed as quick as that. So I'm sitting there thinking, I shut my eyes thinking, where are you in the room? Come on. I know you're here. I kept saying, I know you're here. We've seen you. And I could see a man in his school, like Luke described, but he was whacking a cane on his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, walking. And you could hear like a dunk, dunk, dunk. Like someone was walking, but we're sort of looking around, and this time it's getting really quite dark in there, isn't it, Luke? So we couldn't really see. And the Estes was going for how long? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Luke?
Around that, yeah. Quite a while.
Because Matt said, like, someone's just poked him, someone's just pulled his leg. There's a cold hand on the top of his leg, which is exactly what Luke described earlier, having the hand put on his leg. And Matt went, oh, and he shouted at us, stop moving around, making everything move. We ain't. We just sat still. And he thought we were walking around him. And he was saying, someone is walking around. You need to sit still while I'm doing this. And we're looking at each other thinking, well, we ain't even moving. So what was he sensing? And it was like, get out now, wasn't it, Luke? It was just chaos. The Estes was just total chaos, wasn't it? Dark, I am. And, it just went on and on and on. Eventually, he sort of took it off and said, I can't do this anymore. He said, I can vision in my head the whole room full of teachers. He said, and it's getting quite scary in the headphones now. And he sort of took them off, didn't he, Luke? And we're like, he said, well, what happened? So we explained to him. He said, no way. I said, yeah. He said, because as soon as I felt someone sit on the bench, he felt someone poke him in the shoulder or try and lift. And his watch was being played with. His watch was going up and down like that. Like someone was thinking, what on earth is that? Trying to play with it. So it was like that. He said his watch, you shook his arm and his watch didn't move. But he said he felt the arm, the face of the watch bouncing up and down like that, like someone was trying to pull at it. They didn't know what it was. So that went quite well in there, didn't it? So we went, where else did we go after that, Lou? We went to have another break, didn't we?
I know it tried to move my arm as well at that point.
Yes, because we said, can you move someone's arm, touch someone, do something to one of us if you're that close? And then Luke was saying, my arm's being touched. It's like someone's trying to lift my arm up. Like it was being touched. Yeah. It was, honestly, it's the weirdest sensation in this room. But and then I asked the lady that was running the museum about the cane. Would they have caned children there? She said no. The cane, they stopped the caning. And what they used to do, they had little bits of rope with name tags on them. So what they used to do is put it over their neck, so it'd be not cleaned his hands, unwashed hands, didn't go to the toilet. And they would have to walk around the classroom with these plaques on them. So it's more embarrassing rather than caning them. She said they did walk. There was one teacher said, I'm surprised you realised that he had a cane. There's one teacher that carried a cane but never actually used it on the children. He would smack it against his hand as like a deterrent. She said, and I'm surprised you picked him up for doing that. And I saw him. I literally saw him in my head walking round that room when we were in it, like looking at us, like looking at everywhere, tapping his cane, like, get out or you're going to get a whack. That type of feeling I was getting. So that was really, really interesting. So after that, we went to the corridor. So the lady who's running it said a lot of people, that volunteers that go, won't go to the corridor.
Come on.
Because they've had things happen to them in the corridor. So you go up this couple of flights of stairs and there's a big, long corridor. It reminded me a bit like the officer's mess in Aldershot. You know, the long corridors with the door at the end? Bit like, what's that place? One at Walpolston. Maris Wood. You know, the long corridors with the door at the end? It reminded me a bit like that when we first walked into it. Whoa. And another group had gone up there earlier and had some real good, seeing someone pop their head around the corner and the door opened at the end. They said, you've got to go out there. It's brilliant out there. So as you walk along the corridor, they got like a storeroom. So a lot of the artifacts from the building are stored away there, like parchments. They have very special stuff inside the boxes to keep the parchments moist so that they don't break up and fade. So she said, you know, you're not allowed to go in. You can go in there, but don't touch anything. Don't move anything because everything is sealed. So, which is understandable. You know, this is perfectly fair. So we sat there and got absolutely nothing, did we, Luke?
No.
Absolutely nothing. We had laser grids. We had Luke's bell, cat balls, all sorts in the whole of this corridor, expecting to get something. Nothing at all. It wasn't even felt bad, did it, Luke?
I didn't know.
We're just sitting there thinking you could just nod off. It was that quiet. It was literally, wasn't it, Luke?
Yeah.
So we sat there, we persevered, we tried, but you know, we all come to the conclusion, well, there's nothing here because nothing's happening. Yeah. So then we decided to go down to the air raid shelter. So you come back out of that corridor, go outside, up the ramp, and then down into the air raid shelter. And there was another group doing on the board, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When we went down there. So it's quite steep stairs in the dark. Not much happened. The Ouija board was going well. And then they got some good contacts on there. So again, we didn't have a lot of things happening. So we decided we'd go back to the headmaster's house again and try again. didn't we?
Did you?
So we trotted off over to the headmaster's house again, which was hot, but was really good. By this time, it was dark. So it was quite good. It was cooling down. So it was a bit cooler, so you could survive in there a bit longer. So we walked through the kitchen. It was only us group. Probably how many, Luke? 6, 7 of us at the most?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we were standing in the headmaster's office again. We shut the door. And then we thought we heard, again, like, what sounded, I don't know, footsteps or a knock upstairs. Like someone was walking around upstairs. And someone went out and looked up and went, well, there's nobody up here. There's nobody here. Just us in the headmaster's office. So we're like, oh, okay. So that was quite a bit of a strain, like hearing something up there. So we're standing in the headmaster's office. So there's obviously we shut the door and there's a round handle on the door, like a really old-fashioned handle. So we're standing in the room calling out, come on, headmaster, where are you? We shouldn't be here. And all of a sudden, the door handle was shaking. Like someone was trying to come in the door. And we're like, what? Because Gemma's bolted across the floor, didn't she? And the woman next to her was running with her in the room. I'm standing there looking at this door thinking, what? And it looked like the door had opened. So we sort of grabbed the handle and pulled it, didn't we? There was nobody there. So we're thinking, what was that? Literally, it was like someone rattling the door handle trying to open the door. It literally was like that. And a split second before there, on the shadow underneath the door, there was a shadow went across the bottom of the door and blanked the light out, didn't it, Luke? You remember?
Yeah.
We said, what was that? And opened the door after it rattled and come open a little bit and shouted upstairs and went upstairs again. No one there. So we thought, well, this is building now. This is becoming a good thing. So we went back down into the office again and started calling out. This will make you laugh. So we're calling out. Come on, can you do that again? That was brilliant evidence. Thank you so much. La la la. And the handle was going again. We're like, what? So I opened the door and Zoe went, boo. Zoe was standing behind the door, wasn't she, Luke? I went, oh my God, woman, you were trying to kill me. And she said, I was trying to get in the door, but she was trying to come out. So, so that sort of made us all jump. But it was Zoe, like obviously wandering around with her SLS, getting some pictures. So that was quite funny. But the first incident of the door rattling and the door coming open slightly was really interesting. And you literally heard the handle go, didn't you, Luke?
Yeah, I thought it was someone coming in, yeah.
Yeah, it literally was like someone's coming in the door. Because we thought, oh, someone's coming to join us. Because when we snatched the door up, the door rattled and then the door opened. We sort of pulled the door open quickly and there was nobody there. No one upstairs, nothing. So we don't know whether it was the children doing it. Because when he run the school as headmaster, in his office, the family were not allowed in there. His office was his office. The only people who could go in there were the vicar and the people that would sponsor the school. All the rest of the family had to stay out of there. They weren't allowed in there. They had to sit in the dining room at the back, have their food and everything in there. They weren't allowed to go anywhere near the office, even when he wasn't there. It was, and then you can see the parchment, like the paper on his writing desk, where he'd be writing a letter to the sponsors and things like that. So he would have tea and a dinner for the vicar and all of that type of thing. So it was very well guarded, his office, apparently. He didn't like anybody in there. And I don't think he really liked us in there because he was trying to rattle the door and give us an inkling to get out, to be honest. But that was probably the interesting one, wasn't it, Luke, really?
Yeah.
What did you experience there, Luke? What did you get out of it? Need a drink.
So no, kind of when at the end it kind of went a bit slower. Like nothing much happened at the end, really.
Because I left about midnight just after, didn't it? You stayed on to the end.
You did like a spirit box thing on the app, and we had a few words come through, but it was nothing that much really. It kind of coming down by then.
It's weird, isn't it? How it's sort of quiet to start, built up, and then suddenly went again, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It
was such a strange. But the big classroom upstairs was probably the highlight, and the door opening for me.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. And obviously a few names. We asked the lady, she said, yeah, that would be true. Yeah, that would be the good name. That's a good name. They would have been here. Yes, that would have been how it was. So she was validating everything we were telling her on the whiteboard and bits like that. So she was validating a lot of the experience that people had. So you knew, she said, well, they like to know as well, so they can sort of understand who's there, who isn't there. And she said that, you know, she's had experiences when she's walking around late at night looking it up.
Oh,
You know, she'd see people running across the square, you know, the classroom and banging, and she'd have all sorts, but she doesn't bother her. It's just the children playing, so she's not that bothered by it. But a very, very interesting museum. If you're ever out that way, it's a really, really great place to go and visit, isn't it, Lee?
It is, yeah.
And they run like a little kindergarten. Sorry?
It was an actual school. It's not just
Yes.
buildings set up to look like a school.
No, it's an actual school. It's called the British Schools Museum. And it's an actual... The plaque me and Luke saw, it said something about 1704. So what they used to do is, during the First World War, obviously the children from the local area would go to school, like as normal. And coming to the Second World War, and around the area of Hitchin, not actually Hitchin, was being bombed quite a lot. So all the surrounding area. But she said Hitchin wasn't really hit that badly. So what they used to do was, the main children that come from the area would go to school in the morning, and then the evacuees would go to school in the afternoon. So you could never have them in the same school at the same time, because it was too risky in case a bomb hit. And if they were at school, then they would go down the air raid shelter and hide underground till the bombing stopped. Then they'd come up. But she said Hitchin wasn't really hit that bad during the war, but to accommodate all these children, they'd have the children from the area first in the morning. They would go home, and then the evacuees would come in the afternoon, and they would be taught something different, because obviously they come from London and all the surrounding areas. So it would have had quite a bit of activity there with children to and froing and coming and going between the two wars. So it's got a really, really interesting history. And when you go there, you can actually see a chalkboard where they're actually learning to write letters. And it's still there. It's actually the original chalkboard that's still there. And as you sort of look at the chalkboard, the desks go up in a slope all the way up to the top. So we didn't quite go to that one. We ended up in the big one because it was a lot going on in that bigger hall rather than the smaller one. But all in all, a very, very intriguing investigation. Not, you know, difficult to catch evidence, which often happens. You know, it peaked and then went.
What was the school called?
British Schools Museum, it's called now.
Yeah, what was it then?
Do you know what? I don't know. All I know is... Do what, Luke?
I can't remember, no.
It was on the wall, wasn't it?
Don't know, I didn't see properly. No.
But I've only ever known it as the British Schools Museum, Hitchin. I haven't got my computer. So I don't know what it would have been called originally. Jen's just going to have a quick look.
Okay.
But it was... The one plaque said it was open... It was 1704.
Yeah.
So it'd been open a long time as a school. It was purposely built as a school.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like a school, doesn't it, Luke? With a big outside building. I sent you a video where we're looking around it in the car park, sort of in the middle. And it does look,
I'll play that one as well.
Yeah, just have a look at this video I took. I wanted to see. See, it looks like old schools, see?
Yeah.
And that's a little kindergarten in the middle that children come to.
Oh.
There's the headmaster's house right down in front of you there.
Oh, okay.
And there's the main building there. To your right as it's panning round. Then you got the walkway, then the air raid shelters, the blue door, and the toilets to the left. Then the main school bits as I'm going in. So you go up the stairs, then round to the left, then round to the right. There's the main schoolroom with the flat desks. See it?
Yeah.
And that's where we got the Esthers and the children running around. That's what it's like. Everything you see on the wall is what the children would have wrote, and they've kept it up on the walls, so you can see how flat the desks and chairs all the way through. Straight across there is the room, the little classrooms. There's some of the writing they were learning to do, which is the original blackboard. So it, you know, and you can see the glass around the top, so you can imagine how hot it was inside there when we first got there. So that's sort of, we had to debunk the ticking and clicking and all sorts because of the heat within the building.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wood, a lot of glass, a lot of metal. So that's that's how it was, and that's how it's always been like that. With the headmaster's house right at the very end, and then the school would have spanned right round, and the classrooms. You sort of walk up a ramp, like you see me go up the stairs, round upstairs, and then you go into the main classroom. And if you come out of there and look straight ahead, was the other classroom where the tables and chairs were stacked all the way up the hall. So the hall was on a slope, but they were stacked the desks all the way up, a bit like an auditorium.
Yeah.
You would see it in like a university where they're all stacked sort of downwards. And that was in the other room. I never got to that one. But all in all, it was quite an intriguing place, really, wasn't it, Luke?
Yes, yeah.
Well worth a visit. Hi, Sammy. When's the next investigation and wish we went to school? Yeah, so do I. Wish I went to school. We are working on some dates. The lady we work with has finally come back to work after a few months off. She's obviously been very unwell. So we're working on a few things. We're going to email her, get a response from her. So we'll hopefully get a response from her. So obviously we'll let you know what's coming up. Hopefully one of them's going to be really interesting, but we just need to get them to come back to us. Like it's a struggle that we always have with them. Hopefully we're going to put it to them if we can go back to Netley again, because I really, really enjoyed Netley Abbey.
Yeah.
It's a great group of great guests. It was just a stunning place, but some real good evidence, and like Angela walking around, it was like, now you see me, now you don't. Now somebody's saying, someone's just walked past the window. We'll run out and it's Angela wandering around. So don't forget that, it's Angela.
Yeah. In the end,
you're like you're gliding past the window. It was so funny. So no, it must be Angela. Well, we hope it's Angela anyway.
A couple of times I saw people run out. Oh, it's you. Yeah, it's just me. Sorry.
That was quite funny. You had your long coat on, didn't you, that night? It looked like you were actually gliding past the window because you couldn't see your feet. So it was really quite funny. I mean, Sammy and Wayne were there as well, so they would have seen it. But it was quite funny looking at it. But bless you, you're so brave walking around on your own. Didn't care, did you?
Yeah, they're not worried in case she'd fallen over.
Then Jen worried because we couldn't see Angela for a while, so we're all wandering around looking, and you were sitting on that stone, weren't you?
Yeah.
Trying to make a contact and that, which was really good. But yes, hopefully we'll be able to get back there. Definitely Netley, love that place. Brilliant. We had such a great night. Great guests. Everybody was up for it. And we had some good evidence there. Subtle but good evidence, I thought. Bell going off, cat balls. Sammy bought like a trigger object with a wooden cross with beads. And brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant idea.
We've got a whisper or something.
Somebody got a whisper in their ear.
Or something like
and then we heard what sounded, I think, sort of me and Dora, we were in another room. It was off of Netley Abbey, like the outer building. And we thought we saw, I don't know whether I was just hallucinating, but I turned around with Dora because I heard a noise behind me. And I thought I saw a dragon's tail come down and then disappear back up. And then there was like scratching on the roof, but there is no roof. It's the floor above. So, and what's Dora's friend?
Oh, Misha.
Michelle went outside to have a look. She said, I'll go and look. She said, well, there's nothing up there. But the birds, and what sort of was strange, really, was the birds were chirping and then nothing. It's dead quiet, nothing at all. So I'm not sure whether they got spooked, so they went quiet, or I don't know. But I thoroughly enjoyed Netley.
Yeah.
It was, it's so beautiful. Such a beautiful place. Even when I went back on my own a few weeks later while Jen was doing her spirit art course, walking around there in the sunshine with paranormal pops, panting like a trooper. It's beautiful in the daylight. It is absolutely stunning. You can imagine the size of this building and where it was an abbey, then it was a mansion house, and it lay dormant for 300 years. And, incredible place. Such a great place and such a great night, So it was great guests, and all the money's gone back to them. So everything we made that night goes straight back to them. So they were well chuffed with that, So in the past few months of doing all these bits, we've probably raised just a little over £2,000 for them.
Oh,
So it's not a sniff that amount of money for them. So, so the next events we're going to try and push on with them. Now Joe's back, we can get contact with her and get her to, because she did offer us a few places, but we were umming and ahhing because we had Brockhurst coming up. That would have been our first venue there. So we were like sort of, touring to and fro, whether to book everything up and then do it or just ease our way into it to make it better. So we chose the ease our way into it option, which was good.
Yeah.
So at some stage, no doubt, maybe later in the year, I would like to take a small group back to Fort Brockhurst.
Oh, yeah.
Whether we pay 10 or 15 quid each, and then we give them that, and we can stay and do, a little investigation with a few of us, because I think there's a lot more there than, I think the last time we went, it was a bit few skeptical people. So it was quite difficult to get the connection. We had some good evidence, didn't we? The shadow in the window, in that bright light on the wall, what looked like a pair of boots walking across the cannon room. But, a few people saw it, but the shadow in the light was the most amazing thing. Like someone had opened the door with a light behind them and leaned out and was looking out. Just the most amazing thing. So it's got a lot there to give us. Yeah, it's up for that amazing play. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. I loved it. And it was quite warm that day as well, wasn't it? I think it rained earlier, didn't it? When we was at Netley.
Oh, yeah,
And
it was. Yeah.
It sort of blew over and it became nice and dry and we could wander around in the outside. So we done well for the weather and some good activity. So really, keep an eye on the website. Myself, Angela, Dora, we're off to, and Jen, sorry, we're off to Canterbury on August the 15th. We're giving there's a roadshow called Parameet Roadshow, Parameet, where you get all the local paranormal groups go there and do a talk and give their evidence and show people from all over the country. So we've been invited to do that on August the 15th. It's in, it's in Canterbury. Sorry, Canterbury and Kent. So if you're in that area or you want to come and see us or come to a whole weekend of paranormal talks and other guests there, and there'll be equipment for sale, all this type of stuff there. It's a good place to go. We're so privileged to be asked to go and talk there because they have some real high speakers, about past life regressions and all. So we're very privileged to be allowed to do that. So we're in the middle of
£5.
Eh?
Our autographs are only a £5.
Well, there you go. Cheap at half the price. So we're in the middle of doing a PowerPoint presentation. So we're on for 45 minutes. So we're on at midday for 45 minutes. So we're going to do 4 of our best experiences and I'm making a PowerPoint. I've done mine. Jen's is underway. I'm waiting for Dora's write-up and then with Angela's evidence and write-up. Then I can present the PowerPoint and then we'll get together and have a look at it. Make sure we're all happy with it. And then that'll be us ready for the talk. No knee rattling, no knee banging, nothing like that. No nerves. There's only, I think, 150 people there. So it's fine. It's not... Who's got to get up first and introduce us?
Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is obviously do the PowerPoint and then I'll try and squeeze in if I can in that time the Monday Night Live logo so people can see that and they can come and join us on that. So, we're open to questions. So if you're in the area or you want somewhere to go on the August the 15th, thank you, Wayne. August the 15th, if you're down in Kent, Canterbury, Kent, come and see us. It's on in a hall. It doesn't look like a very big hall, but it might be deceiving. I don't know whether it's quite long. I'd imagine it is. So if you want to come and meet us or see us, pop in and come and see us. I think there's stalls there selling equipment and stuff like that. It's really interesting. Come and listen to all the other speakers. Because we will. Yes, please do. Please come and see us. Because it's full of local paranormal groups. It's a bit of networking for us, but we just want people to experience what we've experienced. You know, whether they believe it or not, it's up to them. But we're going to do the videos and the evidence to go with it. You know, if we're asked questions after, so be it. You know, we'll have the answers. So this is what I'm working on at the moment. Now I'm retired and over the second heart attack. But this is what I've been working on at the moment. So I've got to get that finished and then do a preview. And then you can have a look, or we might even preview it on here. You can have a look and you can see what we're doing, our evidence. And it's called Welcome to Our World.
Oh.
That's the name of it. So, and then it goes in, you know, Paul's experience, Jen, Angela's, Dora, and then you just talk about your experience and what's on the screen. You know, I experienced this. This is my evidence, and this is how And people are interested because a lot of people have said to me that's going to be interesting because it's a local group. So you know, you can have some great big speakers, you know, celebrity speakers, but sometimes people just want to hear people on the ground like us, really. So if you're in that area, please come along and see us.
Mine's 1 minute.
Okay.
Mine's 1
Jen's
minute.
1 minute because you can't stand up. She might lose her behind the lectern.
I have experience. That's it.
Yeah, that's probably what Angela will do. Jen said hers is only 1 minute. I had an experience, thank you. And Angela will be, I had one too, thank you. Poor old me and Dora will be there. Oh, we got a right pair here. So hopefully you'll come and see us there. We are funny. We do like a laugh, and you know what we're like anyway. So come along, come and meet us if you're around that area. Please come along. Luke, you should try and get there.
That's right, so yeah.
Because I think there's someone talking about dolls and all sorts of different speakers. So really interesting. Because we're having to stay out over Friday night because we're midday Saturday. So and Canterbury's about 2 and a bit hours from us, and obviously a lot further for Dora and Angela. So we're staying overnight Friday night. Meets a few spirits. Dutch courage, I think they call it, don't they, Jim? There'll be a few spirits going on there Friday night, no doubt. Anyway, so any questions? I hope you enjoyed that tonight. Anybody got anything for us?
No more questions?
They're all out, gone on holiday, aren't they? What's the matter with you lot? What's going on? So I think Graham is down in Devon. I saw him post about Clovelly.
Oh, no.
I've been to Clovelly a few times. Beautiful seaside. It's the one with a really steep hill. There's cobblestones high street. They charge you to walk down it now because it's so old. Yeah, they charge you to walk down it. It's a massive hill. It's really steep coming up. But it's cobblestones. It goes down and then goes into a fishing bay where all the fishing boats come in. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful place. You know, it's Clovelly in North Devon. Not far from Ilfracombe and Bideford and around that area there. So it's beautiful. Stunning place. But they use it in a lot of films. I think they used it in Poldark and a couple of other films like that was Clovelly. But I think that's where Graham is now. So anyway, enough waffling, Paul. That's enough. So Sammy, really enjoyed tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Sammy, for joining in, and Wayne and anybody else that's watching. We do appreciate you following us and your comments. So if you want to come in and chat about your investigation, Sammy, Wayne, whoever, just contact us. You're more than welcome to come on. Obviously, we could speak to Kaz again if you're interested in more of her experiences. We'll see if she's available to come on one day. But getting this time of year, people out and about and away for holidays, so it's a bit difficult, but we'll do our best. Remember, it's every other Monday now, so we can have a bit of a rest, and also, you know, we can work on getting someone. So Angela's come up with an idea for the next one in 2 weeks. What was your idea, Angela, to talk about?
Do spirits show up more around certain events, not just like birthdays and Christmas and stuff, but things like what's it like, Remembrance Sunday? Like that.
Remembrance. Yeah. So a brilliant topic. Well done, Angela.
My picture.
And Jen did the most amazing picture at Spirit Art we've ever seen. Have a look at this.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it? Look.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
I haven't even practiced for ages.
Those eyes
Really Yeah, they're really something, isn't they? Them eyes.
Yeah.
So that's Jen's spirit art. That was just she
One of
hadn't
my
done anything for a long time in drawing, but Jen seems to think it might be one of her spirit guides because it's sort of got a little beard and a cross just here, and but the whole face is quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Best one she's done, I think, for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing drawing. Well done, you. So that was really, really good drawing. But Jen seems to think that's one of her spirit guides. So
when we did the meditation,
yeah,
that's who I saw.
so there you go. So if you're in Chatham, Jen will draw you a spirit art. If you're there, come and see her. I'm sure she'll bring spirit through for you and have a little bit of an artist. So she does really well. You know, the drawings have gone from someone that can't do art to really, it's really come on, isn't it? So there you go. Couldn't draw for toffees, but now this was the best picture I've seen her draw. That's someone that never even practiced. Just went straight into the class and drew it, which is maybe how it should be. I'm not sure. Maybe all the practice won't make it any better. Just go in, do it, and come out with what you feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. So a great subject in a couple of weeks' time, and Angela had an idea. So tune in a couple of weeks' time, which is the...
Oh, hang on. I'll tell you.
My secretary, my PA's gone a bit robot.
That's because I've got art.
Hang on. So a couple of Mondays' time anyway. The date today.
It's the 22nd.
Yeah.
6th of July.
The next week is 29th. So the following week is the 6th of July.
There you go. 6th of July. Over halfway through the year.
Oh my God,
that's quite scary, isn't it? Really? Yeah. It's gone quick this year.
Oh,
first 6 months.
The last 2-3 years have gone quick.
Yeah, it's really sort of gone past, isn't it? Anyway, enough waffling. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's. Andrew, do you have any questions or anything you wanted to ask?
Nope.
No? Okay, Luke?
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, you got a question? Yeah, no, you don't.
I'm okay. I'm okay, yeah.
Cool. What about your mum? I know she's hiding in the background. You all right, Lynn?
You all right?
All right. Yeah, all right. You all right? All right at the back? All right at the front? All right. Right. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed the investigation that we had the weekend. It was quite interesting. If you're ever in that area, I do, strongly recommend going there. One, you're helping the charity, and two, it's the most amazing building, but everything is original in there. So, it's well worth a look. And it takes you back to being a child, sitting there banging the desktops. Yay! So, it only remains for me to say, have a safe week. Please be careful in this heat, everybody. We don't want to hear anybody getting unwell. So, drink lots, be well. Yeah, Jen's got about half a dozen fans going here. It's like a wind tunnel here. And I mean fans, not that wind. I mean fans. So, only makes me say thank you for tuning in tonight, Sammy, Wayne, and everybody else that watches on Catch Up. So, we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time with a really, really great subject Angela thought of. So, you've heard what it's about. Please join us. Give us your thoughts and that on it, and we'll do a bit more. So, it makes me say thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Take care. Bye.